single batteries?
I don't know if there's two in here.
Probably. Two double A's or something. Very good.
So I do understand some of the issues.
What I have here are two pre-World War, well, depends on what time you think the war began, but two pre-war German sets. On the right is probably a 1933 or 1934 Saba. Saba was a manufacturer out of the Black Forest area of Germany. This is a 4-tube TRF set. This is the back to it. It's got some fairly nice graphics on it. And I received this in the mail from Indiana. Amazing it didn't break. About 4 months ago. And I started doing some work on it. And basically, I haven't gotten far on it because I'm totally unfamiliar with these kinds of tubes. So,
No problem. Just talk to me.
so you see the bottom of that?
You know, somebody here in the organization is familiar with
Base,
them.
please.
Oh, yeah. I have no
See,
means of testing
Scott
this
is
at
the
this point,
expert
so
there. Yeah.
I haven't gotten very far on this
Got
one.
two tester adapters and procedures.
There you go.
Probably 4-volt heaters.
Get back in there. All right, we'll do this later.
Scott will put it in. Scott, put the tube back in the socket.
This one is a 1936 Saxon work. It's kind of got an
very
interesting story, which was,
Cabinet.
I don't remember how many years I've been in the club, probably about 4 or 5. And the first day I joined, I remember the club had a number of sets for sale. And this was when this radio was in the floor, and this whole glass area, the print was completely messed up. You couldn't even tell hardly what
I
was
seem
on
to
it.
remember that.
And it was for $20, and so I was
Yeah.
like, well, I feel like working on something, so I took it home. I was able to work out by taking the, innards out that it was a Saxon work, and that's how I was able to like track down online this logo. And there was just enough left of the dial where I could kind of make out the words if I stuck it in my scanner and blew it up in Photoshop dramatically. And what I noticed is that even though it's a 1936 radio, it has certain markings on it like AFN Berlin, which means Armed Forces Network. The back of the dial had this funny hand-painted appearance to it. So after doing some research online, the best that I could determine was that, yes, it's a pre-war set. After the war, it was cheaper to have your dial repainted to reflect some of these newer stations. So it's a pre-war set with a post-war dial. The other thing that's interesting on both of these sets is, given their provenance, is they both have these warnings on the back. And luckily I worked with a woman from Germany.
Do not listen to foreign
And
stations.
so that's the one on that one.
Oh, quick, on the dial display.
Do not do well standing in the bathtub.
And here is the one on this one as well.
Do not listen to foreign stations.
Basically, it's not outright saying it, but it's kind of like tiptoeing around the notion that, yes, this radio can actually pick up stations from around the world,
That
theoretically.
is not what this says, actually. There's a tag that goes in the line cord that would say that if it were pre-war. This is a safety warning. Don't electrocute yourself.
No, on the display on the dial. It's,
No. Which? That?
Basically saying the same thing.
Nah, that's a safety warning. There is a tag that came on pre-war ones that start off with "Denke daran," means to think about it. Listening to foreign stations is illegal, and your ass is grass if you do it, and you better think carefully before you listen to the beeb. Essentially, and it was a hang tag on the line cords.
the display, not the station display, but the actual. Was that in wavelength or in
Sold
frequency?
to upper crust people.
In meters, as far as the frequency
I
display.
can't read what it is.
Yeah, it's in meters.
Meters, not in kilohertz.
Correct.
Eavesdropping.
Meters.
Meters, totally.
So this one also has an input for this one also has an input for a record player, so I'm running my phone through it. But again, like kind of interesting sets with
Yeah.
interesting history. How they've made it over here, I don't know,
It
because
is.
they were German market only sets.
Yeah, and as they used to say,
When they came back from Germany a lot.
yeah, I guess they used to say back in the 40s, 50s, it has good tone, right?
It does.
Good tone, yeah, I
They
heard.
put good quality loudspeaker in it, it's
Yeah,
bigger.
yeah,
So that's it.
that's great, very nice.
Thank you.